Frank Herbert's Dune saga, which has 6 books in its entirety, is no doubt one of the most popular and most influential works in science fiction. Dune is really about how putting all your hope into a single hero or a chosen one, and then to a set of beliefs that can go awry wrong in a big terrifying way. The story shows how easily large groups of people can be influenced by ideas, propaganda, especially when religion and politics gets mixed together. It shows the great game of power on a galactic scale, sandworms, and many more. It also showcases how humanity would evolve and transform in the future. Some forms which are familiar, while others which look totally alien in appearance. Then the overall idea of a long golden path that is meant to ensure the survival of humanity becomes the overarching theme of the saga. And along the way, different human types emerge in the storyline. Some enhanced by genetic engineering, others by cloning or maybe a little bit evolved, and others by selective breeding. So here in this video we will take a look at 10 of these which are enhanced or superhuman in the canon works of Dune. Let's get to it. The first ones are the Menntads. These are highly trained humans who basically replace computers with the power of their own minds. After the Balerian Jihad, thinking machines were banned because people feared the AI that tried to eradicate them. So humans had to evolve their mental abilities, and then the Menntads were created as part of that change. They can take in a huge amount of information and data, organize it instantly, and perform complex calculations faster than most people could ever understand. But what really makes them special is that they can analyze situations and figure out what is likely to happen next. These Menntads go through intense mental training to reach this level. They learn to keep their minds clear, focused, and free from bias, something they call having a naive mind, which helps them to see patterns that others might miss. This allows them to make smart predictions about politics, war, and strategy. Some people, including leaders like Paul Atreides himself, even receive partial mental training to improve his decision making. The Menntads can also boost their mental speed by using something called the saffron juice, which then makes their thoughts faster but can become addictive over time. And then as the story goes, there also emerge darker versions of these Menntads called the Twisted Menntads, like Peter DeVries, who uses his abilities without moral limits. Next we have the Bene Gesserit, the Sisterhood, which are basically super trained humans who push their minds and bodies far beyond normal limits. They were born without magic powers, but they gain powers which are nearly indistinguishable from magic through intense training and control. One of their most incredible abilities is called Other Memory, where they can access the memories and personalities of their ancestors, but the female ones. It's like having thousands of lifetimes of experience inside one mind. They also use something called the voice, which lets them control people just by speaking in a certain tone that affects the listener's subconsciousness.
Come here, kneel.
Their physical and mental control is just as impressive. Through special training, they can control every muscle and nerve in their body, which allows them to move with extreme speed and precision, almost like they're teleporting in a fight. This is part of what the Freemen call the weirding way. They can also control their internal body processes like heart rate, breathing, and even poison in their system, which makes them nearly immune to toxins. Some can slow their aging down or even survive in extreme conditions by controlling their metabolism. Their minds can also handle multiple thoughts at once, something called the simuflow. And when combined with their memory and analysis, it makes them incredibly intelligent, though still different from Menntads, but still really intelligent. Number 3. The Guild Navigators. These are some of the strangest and most powerful humans in this universe. They are transformed by massive amounts of spice melange into something almost no longer human. These Navigators, also called steersmen, live inside special tanks filled with spice gas, where their bodies slowly change, becoming long, weak, aquatic, and mutated from constant exposure to this spice and also from zero gravity. Their eyes turn completely blue, which shows their deep addiction to spice, but in return they gain an incredible ability, a form of limited future sight, prescience. This lets them safely guide huge starships called highliners by folding space, which allows instant traveling across vast distances instantly. Before Navigators, space travel was extremely dangerous and could destroy ships, and ships would get lost easily. But with their ability to see possible futures, they can thus choose one safe path and thus avoid disaster before it ever happens. Because thinking machine banned after the Balerian Jihad, Navigators became absolutely essential, thus replacing computers and making interstellar travel possible for all humanity again. Their powers also made them politically important and really powerful. They can sense threats from the future as well, like when they realized Paul Atreides could disrupt their control over space travel. This makes them really powerful, but they were still limited because even with their ability to see ahead, they couldn't really control or change the future. Number 4. The Quizat Hadarak.
Oh, he is the Quizat Hadarak!
The Quizat Hadarak is one of the most important and powerful ideas in the entire storyline of Dune. A super being, the Bene Gesserit, spent thousands of years trying to create. The name means shortening of the way, and it describes a male who can do what no one else can: access both male and female ancestral memories and see across space and time using powerful prescience. Normally, the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mothers can only access the memories of their female ancestors, while the male side of their minds is like a dark, terrifying place they cannot enter. The Quizat Hadarak would break that limit, becoming something greater than a Reverend Mother, a Mentat, and even a Guild Navigator all at once. To create him, the Bene Gesserit carefully controlled bloodlines for over 10,000 years, planning to produce him at the perfect moment and then place him on the throne where they could guide him. But this was somehow changed when Paul Atreides was born, who became the first Quizat Hadarak and the Emperor and the head of a jihad that upheaved the Imperium. But the second was Leto II, who also was a Quizat Hadarak, who merged with the Sandtrowts later on and thus became the God Emperor of Dune, the most powerful being in this universe, and used his powers to guide humanity for thousands of years. The third, of course, was Miles Teg, who appeared in the later books and was able to use the same or similar powers to combat the Honored Martyre and also to further the Golden Path. And speaking about the Honored Martyre, here they are. They appeared in Heretics of Dune and Chapter House Dune. The Honored Martyre emerged as a powerful and dangerous group of women who returned from deep space as a darker, more violent version of the Bene Gesserit. They originally came from the Bene Gesserit and other groups like Leto II's followers, but during the scattering they changed a lot, becoming more aggressive and obsessed with total control. Unlike the Bene Gesserit, who used subtle influence and long-term planning, the Honored Martyre relied on fear, speed, and domination. One of their most frightening abilities is a form of sexual enslavement, where they use advanced control over the body and the mind to make others completely loyal to them after intimate contact. This gave them the power to quickly take over entire groups and planets. They are also incredibly fast and deadly in combat, like the Bene Gesserit, able to move and react faster than normal humans, which makes them incredibly hard to defeat. When they returned to the old empire, they brought destruction with them, conquering worlds and even using a powerful weapon to wipe out entire planets, including Arrakis. Number 6. The Futars. In Heretics of Dune and later Chapter House Dune, we meet the Futars, which are strange and unsettling human-feline hybrids, likely created by the ones of many faces and then by the Bene Tleilax during their time in the Scattering. The Futars are physically strong, fast and dangerous, but they aren't really very intelligent, and they are heavily dependent on handlers to guide and control them. These handlers use fear, conditioning and emotional bonds to keep the Futars obedient, which means the creatures are slaves, and they can't act on their own, even if they want to. Interestingly, the Honored Martyre ended up bringing the Futars back with them and using them both as weapons and pets, showing a strange mix of control and cruelty. Without someone to guide them, like in places such as Junction, the Futars struggle to survive or even behave normally, which shows how dependent they are on being controlled. And even if they are enhanced or hybrids, physically they're strong, mentally they're really weak. Number 7. The Tleaksu Masters. The Bene Tleilax are the secretive rulers of the Tleaksu society, controlling powerful creations like Golas and face dancers while quietly shaping events across the universe. Even though they look small and childlike, their bodies and minds are heavily modified using genetic engineering and conditioning, and this makes them far more advanced than normal humans. One of their key advantages is that they are immune to the Bene Gesserit voice. Instead, they control their own creations using a strange command language made of sounds like buzzing or humming, which only their constructs can understand. Interestingly, some face dancers who prove especially useful can be upgraded into masters themselves, as seen with the character called Scytale. At the very top of their society are the 10 Mashiks, or the 10 Masters, a ruling council of the most powerful masters who have even become more extreme with modifications like metal-looking skin and sharp teeth, along with special implants that protect their knowledge from being stolen. These enhancements make them resistant to advanced scanning technology, even to probes, and this keeps their secrets safe. And in this universe, knowledge is power. Number 8. The Face Dancers. These exist in the books like Heretics of Dune, and Face Dancers emerge as creepy shape-shifting beings created by the Bene Tleaksu who can copy other people almost perfectly. They are grown in axolotl tanks and they can't reproduce, so they exist mainly to serve their creators, often working as spies, assassins or infiltrators. Their bodies are specially designed with extra muscles and extra nerve control, and along with advanced mental training, this allows them to change their appearance, their voice and behavior to match anyone, and their faces seem to dance as they transform. So over time they became even more dangerous, gaining the ability to absorb memories through touch, which lets them copy not just how someone looks but also their thoughts, secrets and personalities. However, this upgrade came with a flaw. If a face dancer stayed in one identity for long enough, it could start to believe it was actually that person, thus losing its loyalty to the Tleaksu. Number 9. The Duncan Idaho Golas. In Dune and its sequels, a Gola is a special kind of recreated human made from the cells of someone who has already died, usually by the Bene Tleaksu. Unlike a normal clone, a Gola can eventually regain the memories of its past life, including even the moment of death, which makes them both fascinating and a little disturbing. At first, a Gola doesn't remember anything and seems like a completely new person, but deep inside, their old memories are still there, in their genes. The Tleaksu discovered that these memories could be brought back to life using intense emotional shock or trauma, which forces the mind to reconnect with its past. One of the most famous examples is Duncan Idaho, who was brought back many times as a Gola over thousands of years. In his first return, he was called Hyde, and he was even reprogrammed to kill Paul Atreides, but his deep loyalty and love for Paul caused a mental conflict so strong that it restored his original memories instead, and he became thus loyal to Paul. Over time, later versions of Duncan Idaho became even more advanced, with some eventually remembering their first life and all their past Gola lives too, and this makes them, should I say, superhuman in some sense. And here we end with the Ones of Many Faces. These appeared in Chapter House Dune. They are one of the most mysterious and scariest threats in the entire Dune universe. Nobody really knows who or even what they truly are, but they are believed to be powerful enemies who can change or hide their identity, which is why they are called Many Faces. These beings are said to have created terrifying tools like the Futars, strange and deadly creatures, and even the weapons which can destroy planets. They were strong enough to attack and scare the honored Martyre, forcing them to run away and return to the old empire. Later in the story, Duncan Idaho encounters two strange beings called Daniel and Marty, and he suspects they might actually be connected to the Ones of Many Faces. These beings seem to have advanced knowledge, possibly even improved versions of the Holtzman technology, which could make them even more powerful than anything or any human faction seen before. Although the truth of what they are isn't explained, there is a very high chance that they could be enhanced humans from worlds that were founded during the scattering. And so those are the 10 enhanced superhuman types in Frank Herbert's Dune, from the Quizat Hadarak to the Ones of Many Faces and everyone in between. Now we come to the end of the video. Do hit the like button for support, and for the ones holding their phones in their hands, well, hype option, hype button, click it, whatever it does, it will help us. Anyway, subscribe to be a part of Legion Notebook, and till the next time,
Take care, boys.